And it's June 25th. Episode, I don't even remember. What episode is this, Danny?
This is 12.
Episode 12. So we've been doing this for almost about 3 months. So got a lot of good stuff that happened during the week. One thing that happened, breaking news last week, we're going to talk about in depth this time. Because I want to get into the nuts and bolts, the meat and potatoes of this and what you think. And I'll tell you how I think about this. But let's bring up Bradley Beal. Welcome to the Valley. Chris Paul is gone. Chris Paul is gone. I did like Chris Paul. I thought he was great, but he broke down at the end. He wasn't the guy anymore. He's just Father Time took him. Plain and simple. I respect him. He's a great player. And I wish him luck in Washington. Whoa. Wait. Another trade. He went to Golden State. What do you think about that? With that team?
Last week, you mentioned that Golden State was going to get stronger, guaranteed, for the next season. But is it true with Chris Paul? I mean, do they think he is great with Steph Curry as a field general for the court? I mean, it worked still with playoff potential with the Suns, him and Booker. But I guess it wasn't enough for the ring. I don't want to say there's blame for Chris Paul that it couldn't happen. Besides being maybe a little injury prone, you could put that on him. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that helps Golden State?
I don't think Chris Paul would have been the answer here. He was going to get broken. He got broken down 2 years in a row. They were betting that it was going to happen a third year. The thing with Chris Paul is he was expensive. They had to trade him. They had to find out someone to take that salary off their hands. And they found out Bradley Beal. And I think they owe Bradley Beal like a ton of money. I think he's like $50 million a season for the next 4 seasons. So with him, Durant, Booker on the books with DA from the next foreseeable future, I mean, those are going to be long seasons. You got 4 guys that can still play. I say keep DA. Why not? Frank Vogel likes big guys. Let's see what he can do. Maybe change of pace and see what happens. Bradley Beal, I don't know if he's the answer, but it'll be fun to see what happens. I mean, you can't take away that this is Devin Booker's team. He is the star of this team. Now, if you look up the roster and see who's on there, Danny, take us down. Who's left on this team?
If they're still going to be around, there's still plenty of time to shift players around. So Torrey Craig still around. Devin Booker, of course. Josh Okogie. This is clearly not updated because they still have Chris Paul on here.
Yeah, it's not updated. Nah, you can't trust this roster.
Yeah, because Landry showing. Okay, damn it, PhoenixSuns.com or Suns.com. Update your roster. All right,
yeah,
not going through this.
No, let's not go through it. It's not. But let's be real though. Now they don't have any money. They're gonna rely on the veterans minimum to bring guys here.
I mean, we just saw a few names on here. I don't know them that well, but
Jordan Goodwill.
Yeah, Jordan Goodwin.
Yeah, I don't know.
Goodwin, do you know him?
No.
Okay. He's a guard.
Isaiah Todd. 2 first names. Don't trust him.
But that's the thing. I mean, we argued about that the Suns need a bench. Suns they traded away so much of their future. So it's all about the now. Now we have a playoff team. We have a team that can win the ring. Like, we need everything to get aligned. The right coach, the right players around Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Yeah, they need a bench. Apparently, they're going to keep DeAndre Ayton.
I hope so. I like DA. I think, let's see if he can. He's so young still, man. He can still pull it together. He's not asked to be the man, right? He just go out there, play, get some rebounds. I want to like this deal. I like the deal only because he's younger, Beal, compared to Chris Paul. But he has some injury problems as well. So we'll see what happens. I do think there is a problem with getting bench players if you don't have money. You're going to rely on veterans who might be on their way out that might say, hey, Suns could give me some playing time and pay me pretty well because I can get the veterans minimum. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting season. Golden State, do they get better? I don't know. I don't know what Chris Paul does that dynamic, right? And I don't think they're done. I think a lot's going to happen. What's DeAndre going to do, right? Or not DeAndre, Draymond Green on Golden State. He's good. I would love to see him on the Suns. He's good because he doesn't care about scoring. He plays defense, right? That'd be a great piece. He's a free agent, but I think Golden State will grab him and say, look, we got Chris Paul. But if that's not enough for him, he might go there. But, he's good friends with LeBron. He was just vacationing with LeBron. Paparazzi got some pictures of them at some beach together hanging out. I could see him either going to the Lakers or teaming up somewhere, Him going to the Lakers would be a big deal, right?
Is that still a possibility?
It's a possibility. I mean, why not? Why not? Lakers have a lot of issues. They say what you want about LeBron, but he might be past. He can't do it by himself, obviously, but he can't do it with the stars that are on his team. Because if you're telling me that Anthony Davis couldn't help LeBron win a ring, that's insane. They won one in the bubble, but they can't win a regular one. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. It's going to be a good NBA season coming up. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of people going to, say, oh, Suns aren't going to be that good, blah, blah, blah. Denver is still Denver. Denver's the champ. So until someone figures them out. And then you got Kyrie Irving. Where's Irving going to go? There's a lot of free agents. I mean, the season is super young, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens, right? Who goes where? The whole landscape of the NBA is going to change. James Harden, where's he going to go? Is he going to go stay in the West or go in the West, stay in Philly? Philly gets rid of him, gets Russell Westbrook. I mean, Russell Westbrook can still play. He can still help a team. I heard rumors that the Clippers are going to trade Paul George or thinking about taking calls for Paul George.
I heard Kawhi.
And, you heard that they might trade Kawhi?
Yeah.
I heard they might trade both and just rebuild completely. Completely. Oh, Nick's interested in trading for Clippers Paul George. Interesting. Well, a lot can happen. All those are just rumors until you see it happen, done deal. We'll see what happens, What else? What do you got?
For NBA, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's...
Yeah, that's all. I mean, NBA is over. I mean, there's not many hot rumors right now, so let's wait and see what happens.
The draft ended.
Oh, yeah, draft, no surprises. The guy that went number one. Scoot went number 3. That was interesting. I thought he'd go 2.
He went to what, the Trailblazers?
Yeah, Portland. So that might be pretty awesome for Portland. If I was Portland, I'd be excited. I think he's a really good player. So him and Lillard, they might have something there. Is it good enough to be in the playoffs? We'll see next year.
Just to conclude with the Suns trade, do you like the trade? Giving up Chris Paul?
You had to trade Chris Paul, and this was the only trade there. There was no other trades. People are like, oh, you could have got... No, you can't get anyone else.
Is Bradley Beal going to take the point guard position?
Yeah. Yeah, he has to. Shooting guard's Devin. Point guard's going to be Beal. Washington they're happy to unload that contract. Matt Ishbia is like, yeah, I'll take that contract. $50 million a year for like the next 4 years.
What?
Yeah, it's a lot. His contract's huge.
Like, that's bigger than Chris Paul.
That's bigger than anyone in the NBA.
Is it really?
It's one of the biggest contracts in the NBA.
Let me look that up.
Look up the contract real quick. I'll keep talking. But, yeah, look up Bradley Beal contract, and it's scary big what the Suns have to pay. NBA is pretty cool. You can only, 5 years, $250.
Let me show it. The audience, yeah.
Look at that. $50 million a year. Wow. Cap hit at 46, dead cap space. Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Holy.
That's more than like a lot of the guys that we talk about. Oh, this guy's getting 35. This guy's getting 40. Bradley Beal's getting 50. And the only reason that was able is because if you re-sign with the original team, you there's bonuses. They get to go higher. Yeah, I love the NBA for having salary caps, right? And you can only sign up to 5 years. 4 years, I think, if you're not with that team. So if the Suns go out and get someone, the most they can pay them is for 4 years. But then they can get them that extra year because they're on the team. So we'll see what happens. So do I like the trade? Yeah, I like the trade. There's nothing else out there. So, yeah, let's get it done.
All right. Hopefully they pick up some bench worthy bench people.
Yep.
Next news: Arizona Diamondbacks. Anything?
If you're not watching the Diamondbacks, what do you do? Especially in Arizona, like, come on, man. They're winning. I know that the last 2 games against the rival Giants in San Francisco, they lost both games. They play today as well. You know, it's San Francisco. They have a good team. So, but the Diamondbacks are good. They have 2 guys in the outfield that are going for the All-Star, and one of them, the rookie Corbin Carroll, stud, man. Just an amazing stud. He might start in the All-Star game, and he's top 3 for the MVP talks. That's crazy. And he's 22 years old, signed an 8-year, like $111 million deal before the season started.
Yep, there it is.
That is amazing. There you go. He is the real deal. And he's like 14, 13 home runs already, 20-plus stolen bases. The kid's a stud, man. And he's here for the next 8 years at least. See what he does.
Do you think he's going to be the face of that franchise?
Yeah, he's 100%. He's the face of the franchise. 8 years. Him and I like Zach Gallen a lot, the pitcher, but he's not guaranteed to stay too much longer unless they get a extension. He's top 5 for Cy Young too, the pitching MVP. So, and actually, him and Merrill Kelly are top 1. They're tied for first in wins this year in baseball, and they're on the same team. So that's a good 1-2 punch right there for Arizona. They have a good team. They have a very quiet, good team. Definitely great to watch. It's always great when they're winning. They're starting to get more people going to the games, but there needs to be more. They have that thing with Bally Sports that they're fighting with right now as far as the whole, you have to watch Diamondback games on Bally Network, and Bally's went bankrupt, and they're trying to get out of that contract. So that's going to be a pretty big deal here. Because then what happens? Does MLB take over? Does ESPN start putting those on TV and hopefully not blacking them out for people out here? Because
I think local sports need to be on local channels.
100%.
This is stupid with the whole, okay, you want me to sign up for, okay, I have to get DirecTV, and then hopefully it comes with Bally's. So I had to pay that, and now I have a channel to watch my sports. It's already riddled in commercials.
Yep.
And you want me to pay more on top of the revenue you're making with the commercials? Pick one or the other. It's so frustrating that with these subscriptions, they all throw in commercials. It's like cable. It's like cable again. It's I did not want that. I signed up for all these subscription services like Netflix because there was no commercials.
Yeah, but now with Netflix and Disney adding commercials, it's here we go again.
Oh, sure. I mean, they have 2 different kinds, or one with commercials, but if you pay more, there's no commercials.
If you pay more, that's where they get you. Pay more. So, I don't know. Streaming, we can go down that road, but you have to get Disney, Hulu.
Before sports, come on, man. There's a bunch of people who don't have the money to get these subscription services, and you want these kids to grow up admiring these professional athletes, right? Put them on local TV, where all the people need is an antenna, and watch their local sports. Why do we have to make people jump through hoops to watch the local sports? And it's all individual. If you want to watch football, get this subscription. If you want to watch baseball, get this subscription. If you want to watch basketball, get this subscription. These are my local teams. Leave me alone. If I want to watch other cities, sure, I'll subscribe. But for my local teams, people should not be paying extra. Just put it on a local channel. Let them watch it. You're already going to riddle it with commercials anyway, with local ads and whatnot. Leave people alone.
No, I'm with you there. But I think about the young kid playing, t-ball or minor, playing in Little League Baseball that has a Diamondbacks hat for. That's the team that his Little League is. But he doesn't know any of the real players because he can't watch the games, right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't grow up admiring Arizona players because they're not on TV. He doesn't have a chance to watch it. I get that. And growing up, we were spoiled watching Suns games on local TV, Diamondbacks on local. Now the game's changed. They all want to make a buck off of you. And you're right. One channel has this, one channel has that. Or if you want to spend $100 for DirecTV, you might catch 2 out of 3, 2 out of 4 of those that you want. But you still have to get subscriptions, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just, it is what it is. I hope Matt Ishbia said he wants to put the Suns on local TV. That way you watch it on local TV and you see the excitement on TV, you're like, oh, I want to go to the game.
Mm-hmm.
and that's when they get you. Ticket prices, food, parking, all that. Get these people to the game. Put it on TV. No one goes to Diamondback games because they don't see the Diamondback games.
Right.
You know, if they were able to watch it on TV and say, oh, wow, this, you know, I know that guy, I know that guy. Oh, who's this? Okay, now I know that guy. I want to go to the game. That looks like fun. But a lot of people don't have that opportunity. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of things that they have to improve. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many sports that should be localized too, like your local team. Because I'd watch more Phoenix Rising if they were local TV. I'd watch more Coyotes if it was on local TV. Baseball for sure, but it's a shame. Hopefully
yeah, Coyotes still have to do that. Coyotes have to find a new home before they end up leaving. You know, they're saying Houston. I'm like, really?
I think the fight's over. I think they might just leave Arizona.
Yeah, I think they might, which sucks, but East Valley, man, you should have stepped up and grabbed that team.
Or, I mean, what was it? They should never have left downtown Phoenix?
Yeah, I should have never left Phoenix. They should have, not that they never should have left. They should have went East Valley right off the bat. They should have took I think that one of the proposals, 101 and 202, they were going to build something out there for them, and they took Goodyear because it was like more incentives, better deal for the Coyotes, and that blew up in your face. Now you have a wasted stadium pretty soon.
I know. What are you going to use it for?
Oh,
Truck driving shows and stuff?
Concerts and this and
Monster
that.
trucks?
Monster trucks.
Concerts, yeah.
Now you got to get a bunch of concerts in there. You got to beg, hey, come see us. Come over here.
No, I knew day one that was a bad move.
Yeah.
Bad move.
No, it just sucks driving out there if you live in the East Valley. If you live in the West Valley, yeah, it's right there. It's cool. I mean, there's a lot of cool things out there now. But centrally located would have been the best thing for them.
Yeah, because if you want those weekday games, get the weekday crowd coming in, you got to be central.
Yeah.
It made sense for the Cardinals. Okay, they only play
one game
on
the
every
weekend.
other weekend. Every other weekend. It's not every weekend. It's
Yeah.
every other. So people are willing to make that plan.
Oh, yeah, 2 times a month. You're going to make the pilgrimage 2 times a month because that's all you have to do.
Yeah, but Coyotes are so many games.
During the week, too.
And during the week, it's like, I'm not going to leave work, get off work at 6 p.m.
Earlier. You have to leave earlier. You have to
leave
get off early to get... For us to get down there with traffic, oh, my God, dude. You got to leave early.
It's like, no, I'm watching it on TV.
You got to leave at least 3 o'clock from where we live.
And now, yeah, and for how bad they are, like, you want me on a weekday to watch a slaughter?
You know that, like, preseason, they had a preseason Cardinals game on a Friday. We left at, like, 2 o'clock. Barely got there at kickoff. At 2 o'clock. Once you get to the west side, it's a cluster. To try to park for that football game was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. It just was horrible. So, but to do it on a weekend is a lot easier. During the week, people are leaving work. By the time we got to the west side, it was like 5 o'clock-ish. So you already had full-blown rush hour traffic. So we got stuck a couple times, and it was just horrible.
There's still a chance that the Coyotes could be on an Indian reservation next to a casino.
Talking Stick would be the ideal. You got hotels right there. You got things to do.
It's right down the 101.
Right down the 101. For us, it's
between
easy.
Tempe and Scottsdale.
Tempe, Scottsdale, East Valley. It's all East Valley's, all freeway. Even if you're on the west side, it's all freeway.
Still a chance.
There's a chance. We'll see what happens.
All right. Anything else on sports in general?
No, I mean, what else happened in sports do you think? All-Star game for baseball's coming up. Second week of July, and that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy.
All right, let's go on world news because
here we go.
There is a coup in Russia. One of their mercenary groups there just basically turned on Putin and try to take over. So is this considered an official like civil war? I mean, it's a mercenary group, right? It's not like a chunk of the countries said, you know what, we're gonna fight you instead of with you.
No, I see a lot. I see a lot, like on social media about this. Is it real? Is it real? Is it just to take our look over here so you don't see what we're doing here? I heard it's already over. I heard that they got kind of a peace, or at least they stopped, but this is the first time in Putin's career that someone else has challenged him to where they're saying this guy, the Warner Group's the real deal, and they could take him down. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of scary. If you know you can take someone down, why wouldn't you? Right? And there's a lot out there. I don't know who you believe, but they're saying it's all misinformation, that it's all derived from, the West, that we're planting seeds, we're giving false information to this Warner Group to go take out Putin because we want him out. And we saw something earlier today, right? Valuetainment. Who was on that? Alex Jones?
Alex Jones. So I like Alex Jones a lot, but at the same time, I question his credibility.
Well, he's a character. I mean, is he right all the time? No. Who is, though? Well,
very true.
But he thinks that this is a bad idea because the new regime would take over, and we don't know them, right? We don't deal with them. And Russia has the most nukes out of every country, any other country.
Mm-hmm.
I think the stats where they double us. Now, if they work, that's another thing, right? What if they're just broken?
I question those stats.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not. And
maybe
if you say they're functioning, they're from the 50s. Like, they're old.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they don't have anything renewed. But still, the fact that there's a coup in Russia is kind of scary. Takes all the pressure off of Ukraine and everything in Russia. And who's to say that if they take over Russia, they're like, all right, cool. Now let's fight Ukraine like we want to fight Ukraine, this Warner Group, and say, we got the manpower. Let's just take it over. So
we have a better idea of how to take over Ukraine. Putin, you're not doing it right.
And these guys if they're mercenaries and they don't care, they'll probably go in guns a-blazing and take everyone out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we'll see.
I mean, I could put up a quick 2 minutes about
let's do
Wagner
that.
Group.
Let's do that.
Okay. Because the first 2 minutes of this was actually pretty hopeful. Let me play it real quick.
Earlier this year, in January, the United States designated the Wagner Group as a, quote, transnational criminal organization, imposing new sanctions on that group. The Wagner Group, which now claims control of the Russian city of Rostov-on-Don, is an entity you've likely heard about throughout Russia's war effort in Ukraine, but you may not know exactly what it is. The White House says the Wagner Group is in part a, quote, criminal organization that is committing widespread human rights abuses. The Wagner Group is also linked to Russia. It has essentially been a private mercenary militia force for hire under Russian control, but technically it operates outside of Russian law. The group's founder is this guy named Yevgeny Prigozhin. He's now leading what appears to be an armed rebellion or a coup against the Kremlin. Now, he's got close ties to Vladimir Putin. He was actually nicknamed Putin's chef. Not really a chef, he was a caterer. He first came about back in 2014. He played a role in Russia's invasion of the Donbas in eastern Ukraine and Crimea. He's also got experience on behalf of Russia in conflicts in Syria, Libya, and elsewhere. Now, the Wagner Group has a reputation for being inhumane, committing human rights abuses and atrocities, according to the UN and human rights organizations. That's continued in the war in Ukraine, where, according to the White House, Wagner at one point commanded roughly 50,000 troops, playing a vital role in Russia's war effort, although only about a quarter of the force is actually trained and are contracted as mercenaries. The rest are made up of newly recruited Russian convicts. That said, Wagner has also suffered tremendous losses fighting in Ukraine, but with all this comes power. And as we are now seeing play out, Prigozhin has been rather brazen in publicly speaking out about the Kremlin's military failures in Ukraine, offering harsh criticisms for top-ranking officials, including the defense minister Sergei Shoigu and the leader of Russia's forces in Ukraine, the chief of staff, General Valery Gerasimov. Back in January, the White House said it believed that there were, quote, mounting tensions between Wagner and the Kremlin, and that Wagner has established itself as a, quote, rival power center to Russia's own military.
Wow.
Joining me now is Colin Clark. He's the director of research.
There's your civil war right there. It's not even a civil war. That's like a takeover, just like every other country. And just to be fair, them going over and taking over the Kremlin like that's an insertion, right?
I don't think they took them over. I think they challenged them.
They challenged them, but they had guns and tanks and all kinds of stuff. That's scary.
it's crazy because like this war is not over. It's not as swift as Putin said it was going to be.
Maybe they pronounce it Wagner. You see?
Wagner.
Wagner.
Right? But it's with the W, right? It's probably just like a Russian thing where W
It's a Russian
sound like
thing,
a B. But it sounds like it's just an opportunity to see, hey, maybe we could just take over the Kremlin and we can rule.
Yeah, and they can fight the rest of that war the way they want to fight it, right?
Do you think they want to fight the rest of the war?
Maybe they pull out and have bigger fish to fry.
Or re-strategize? Who knows? I mean, according to what Alex Jones on Valuetainment that we saw, that this guy is worse than Putin.
Yeah. Yeah. And if the CIA had something to do with it, like be careful what you wish for, you know?
I don't doubt that the CIA was involved. Maybe bolstering up the Wagner group to try to make a coup attempt in Kremlin, do it in Moscow.
How hard is it to say, hey, you could be president. You could be the dictator of Russia. You deserve this. You deserve it. And then you say it so many times that you start thinking, yeah, you're right. I should be the head of Russia.
Well, it's just like, hey, this is a golden opportunity where you could be the head of Russia. And we could work well between the United States and yourself. The new Russia.
The new Russia. That could be it. But we don't know, right? We wouldn't know for a while.
No, but I'm willing to be in the ball camp of the conspiracy that the U.S. is involved one way or the other.
Oh, of course. And plus the U.S. doesn't want Putin in there anymore. So obviously, just like everyone else, Gaddafi and all these other Husseins in the world, they have something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's just to have that much power to be able to say, you know what, we don't like you. We're going to take you out somehow. Mm-hmm. One way or the other, we're going to take you out. That's pretty crazy.
But this war, it's crazy that it's still going more than a year now.
Well, because a lot of companies make money.
Well, definitely the military-industrial complex makes money, right?
Yes.
For sure.
They make a ton of money. I mean, there's a reason why things happen. There's a reason why money's out, the crazy amount of money that they send over. They'll say, oh, it's for... What are we fighting for? The Western values or whatever. It's like they don't care about the Western values.
Well, we need to help Ukraine out because they're being bullied.
Democracy.
By
they're the last fight of democracy. No, they're not. Ukraine doesn't even like us. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just want to take our money and help them with this war. If it's I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Ukraine. A lot of people have their opinions. My opinion is like, end it. Why is it still going on?
Why is it still going on? And why are we involved?
Yeah. And, we can't be involved, but we are involved.
We're involved by sending them money.
It's a freaking proxy war that we're in.
It is a proxy war.
That we're antagonizing it. And I say we, I say like Europe, which is like UK mainly, and the US, throwing those little seeds and seeing what happens. So, I don't know. I think a lot's going to happen in the next week. You know, maybe next week it's a new Russia, or Putin somehow seizes power. They don't even know where Putin is right now. He's hiding.
You think so?
That's what reports say.
I mean, I don't even know where my president is most of the time in the United States.
Yeah, but think about it. Putin's like, he's locked up somewhere with the people he trusts. Because it's so, you know, he doesn't know what the CIA or whoever's planting the seeds said to him. He's probably scared.
If we wake up tomorrow morning and they say Putin is dead, would you believe it?
Well, there's a difference. Did it really happen or no?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Could I believe it? Could I believe the CIA did it? Could I believe the US did it? Could I believe... Yeah, I mean, I could, but did they? I don't know. The more and more of this crazy stuff that happens, and the reason why we started a podcast to talk about the crazy stuff, it just like, I wish I was a kid again and didn't have to worry about any of this crap. None of this crap. I mean, I'm sure all this crap existed in the 80s, 90s.
Well, it was the USSR back then. It was a communist country.
Yeah.
And then,
Well,
communism there fell in 91, and now we're still... have a weird rivalry with Russia.
Well, because the sons never forget, right? The sons grow up and they saw how miserable it was. You saw Creed 2, right? When Drago, when he went back.
No, that's 4.
No, not Rocky 4. Creed 2.
Oh, Creed 2. I'm sorry. I was thinking
when
Rocky.
Dolph Lundgren talks about how when he went back home, or after Rocky left after that fight, he was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
No one wanted him. No one cared about him. He was less than a dog. And
That's Russian culture, huh?
that's Russian culture. But it was hard after the fall of USSR.
Mm-hmm.
It got really bad in Russia. Only the oligarchs and a certain few were still making money and still having these great lives, and they've rebuilt to the Russia that they have now. It's completely different.
Well, apparently with Putin in power, with the Russia now, that the economy finally got better.
Yeah, the economy under Putin did get better, and it is better. Russia's not a bad place.
But is it just in their culture that you always have to be a strong leader at all times? You can't, any type of weakness. I mean, today in the U.S., our president could just be a transgender, like gay, whatever, and no one cares in the U.S. But like in Russia, it's like you have to be a tough leader.
Should be. Well, I think you should be a strong leader no matter where you are. That's for your species or your tribe, your people, whatever you want to call it. To succeed, you need strong, not just the military, but you need a strong leader that's going to make those tough choices. Cut people's heads off. Putin would. The Chinese leader would. They're strong leaders. They don't care what you think. It's their country, It's kind of like Trump. The whole, you can say whatever you want about make America great again. Some people are like, when was it great? Well, maybe they're talking about make America #1 again. Country-wise, not just the country here in the U.S., because I think America is great right now. It's supposed to only get better and better the moment we start declining. It sucks for us, right? Then you can use that phrase. But I think MAGNA really is more for let's make U.S. #1 again. I think Trump wanted the U.S. to be #1. He didn't want. This is the way I took it. He doesn't want China, India, Russia, anyone else above the U.S. He wants everyone to be like, oh, I want the American dream.
Above U.S. how economically?
Every which way. Every which way. He wanted America to be #1 in everything. Let's be honest. There's a lot of things we're not going to be #1 in. Intelligence. Like, there's a lot of smart kids in the world, and they're not from here. Our school systems suck.
I will give credit to Biden administration with this, and this is something it's rare for me to agree with, that we do need to compete educationally again. If you don't put the resources in education, other people are going to outcompete you. And I believe that's true.
No, 100%.
I believe that's true because that's how the U.S. was. We had a very strong education system starting off. We didn't have bad public schools, but now they get worse and worse and worse over time because we keep putting less resources into them.
Yep, 100%.
And the only schools that matter now is a public school that if you can afford it, good luck. And not private school.
Private schools. Private schools have the best education right now. Public schools are a joke.
Well, you have to like really research certain public schools, charter schools around your area, see how they do. And people really move into certain neighborhoods. They don't care how much the house costs. They just want to get in that neighborhood so they can put their kid in that school.
You're correct. That's exactly what happens. A lot of people try to move in our neighborhood because our school district's really good.
Yeah.
And they don't teach any craziness. They honestly teach kids STEM and all that other math and science, and they're big on the reading. And they teach them stuff, not opinions, right? So. I've been very happy with the school district here, so hopefully it doesn't change, and they just do academically what they've been doing. Teaching them how to read and write, not what change of clothes you should have. Let that be for something else.
Yeah, I mean the person who's really spearheading that for the Biden administration is his wife, who has a doctorate in education.
There you go.
So it makes sense that she's going to push for stronger education in the U.S., and we should have stronger education because people in other countries, their education's caught up and improving.
Correct. Back in the day, remember, people wanted to study here.
Yes.
And now those people, a lot of times people want to study here and stay here and get a job here. Now they'll study here and they're like, I don't want to stay here, and they'll go back to their country.
Yep.
And then they start teaching that there. And they've all, I don't want to say caught up, but they're there. I mean, India is the next one. India is so full of people, man.
Well, it's the second largest country population-wise. And what do you do with all those people? I mean, they still have...
Who's the first?
China.
Over India?
Yes.
Man,
I could look that up real
look
quick.
it up because I think New Delhi has the most people because they're double what New York City is. And it's so crazy to me to see that. Oh, I think. Well, do you think China's bigger than India, right? Not just population, but like size wise.
Yeah, by land, yes.
So India's smaller, and the numbers are pretty
let me
close.
zoom
Look,
this
I
in
mean,
so
those
people
numbers
can-
are close. It's sick how many people compare. When you see number 3 on the list.
I did not know Indonesia was number 4.
Oh yeah, Indonesia.
I am surprised by that. I know it's like thousands of islands, but holy goodness.
Oh yeah.
It's not, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong because I'm about to go there in October, but land area, it's like 2 times smaller than India. Fascinating.
Look
Wow.
at the land area China versus India, and then look at the
So-
population.
Land area in China, for those listening, 9.3 kilometers square versus India, which is 2.9 kilometers square. It's almost
So
3.
a third. They are a third of what China is. Mm-hmm. And population-wise, they're right there.
Yeah, United States and China, they're almost the same. China's a little bit bigger, the land area. But Indonesia is at 1.8, my goodness. Because you see, like, Mexico is 1.9 kilometers square, which is just a little bit bigger than Indonesia. But, wow, I really thought, like, Mexico would be, like, high. I didn't know Indonesia was that high. That blew my mind today. Because you see Russia is, like, the biggest country, right? 16.3 kilometers square for land area.
Yeah, but it's so cool. There's so many places in Russia you cannot live.
Like
It's
Siberia and stuff like that,
too
like northern
freaking
area.
cold there. It's kind of like Australia, how it's too freaking hot. In some places in Australia, you can't live. Mm-hmm. Plus, it's dangerous because they have some
Okay, but
crazy
then
stuff.
there's like Brazil, right? Very livable. Well, I mean, there's a lot of Amazon forest there too.
Yeah, Brazil has the Amazon.
But they have a lot. I thought Brazil was gonna be like number 4 on this list. I had no idea that Pakistan and Indonesia would be above Brazil. That is crazy to me. Okay, fascinating. Because I figured I thought Brazil had more people than the United
Look at
States.
the medium age in those countries.
On the right.
Japan's 48, Nigeria's 18. That is crazy.
United States is 38. Russia's 40.
Yeah.
Ethiopia's 19. Nigeria 18.
That means like in Ethiopia and Nigeria, you're not living past a certain age, right? Because the average age is 18. That means you're not living long.
Or, the fertility rate. Look at that, because it's 4.3 for Ethiopia, so they could just be banging it out to bring that age down.
Not dramatically like that. Because you look at Japan, 48. That means they're living long lives.
They are. I keep reading about how Japan has a problem with getting people to just bring up their population, because yearly it goes down.
Yeah.
Look at that.
They're
It's,
negative.
the net change goes down 1/3% yearly. So they're worried about that because they need a workforce. But they have too many old people.
That are retiring and stuff. They don't have enough people to take over those jobs.
Yeah, I mean, that's another fear for the United States, too. Because we have so many people,
The boomers are going to be retiring soon.
but if they aren't already.
Yeah.
But, like, we keep having more generations where they're having fewer and fewer kids because cost of living is so high. And, what do you do to get, like, a functioning family? You typically want to get a house. People can't get that. That's where you get...
Housing is still such a major problem in the
Mm-hmm.
whole, not just the world, but here especially. Not just Arizona, the whole U.S. I mean, everything's going up. Pay's not going up. It's just, we can sit here forever and talk about the housing market and how it sucks. Rates 7%.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying it's going to go up.
Let me just see where it's at right now because I have that in my favorites. See if it's gone up or gone down.
It's gone down a tiny bit.
That's still nothing, dude. You could at 6.92. That's basically 7%.
Oh, yeah.
That's still up there, man. So, plus, it's gonna be stagnant.
Well, but the values of homes went up. So when you try to buy a house that's like a decent house for 700,000, and you get a 7% interest rate, and you're only putting down the bare minimum, that's effing expensive, man.
Well, what do you do? I mean, houses are not going to be built fast enough, nor if I was a home builder, I wouldn't, because if I build too fast and I have an increased supply and I have to drop the prices, they're making their money right now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's a scarce amount. It's always going to be a scarce amount for years now. This is a good game for them to make money.
I know a lot of people moved here. Yeah, a lot of people moved here during the pandemic.
I mean, people moved everywhere, right? It's still, Florida's still booming.
Big time.
It's still booming.
I just read today that they're going to have the highest rate, the highest number of people vacationing in Florida this year for over 20 years or something like that.
That's crazy.
Yes, and people are still not going to Disney. Yeah, which is crazy to me. Like Disney World's offering like $99 tickets.
Is that right?
Yeah. I just saw that today. I was like, oh my gosh, that'd be cool.
Those listening, I'm just looking at the average of the entire United States. Homes sold between end of June to end of May. You know, year over year, it's gone down 17% from last year. But was there a bigger supply, or is it just a steady supply?
Rates were lower.
Rates were lower. This is true.
Rates were lower, so people, said, yeah, maybe my interest rates goes up by a point. That's okay, but I'm gonna get a new house. Now you're like, let's see, I got 3% interest rate. Do I want 7 plus the house is so much more?
Look at this. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Active listings, right? It's been steady since almost the beginning of the year. It's dropped down at the end of January, and then it's been steady since then. Do you think they want, if this line stays like this, and let's look at medium sale price, they keep going up. It's almost like last year's levels.
That sucks. Yeah, it's going back up again.
If you were in the game of building houses and making money, these are the two things you want to see. You want that steady line.
But you know why you buy a brand new house? The incentives. You can get, instead of 7%, you can get 5%.
Well, that's buying it directly through the home builder, right?
Yeah, it has to be through the home builder. You use their mortgage company. They're able to apply that and get you.
Well, they can't. It's their own money that they're lending, right?
Well, they're giving you $15,000-$20,000 in incentives. You buy down the rate with that.
Oh, okay. You buy down the rate. Okay.
Yep, you're using those incentives to buy down the rate. Happens all the time, but you have to use the builder's lender. You can't go to Chase and go, hey, I'm going to get a brand new house. They're going to be like, okay, here, this is what we can give you, 7%.
The average cost of a house is it's almost as bad as it was last year. It's about to cross it real soon.
No, it's going to cross by next week.
Yet, rates are higher.
Yeah.
And the amount of, there's no surplus of homes. It's stagnant. This probably salvates home builders. Like, we're making money.
That's why there's a lot of home builders in Arizona building like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going anywhere. So
do you think they're building like crazy, or they just have a steady pace going on?
They got a steady pace. They can't build like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I got some friends at builders, and they're doing it. They're pretty much, you do it by lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, hey, we're gonna have 50 homes over here. Sell out. Say you have like 80 to 90% done on the books. Then you introduce, hey, we're opening up another 50 homes 5 miles down the street. And the community's called so-and-so. And then you start doing the, reservations for people that, are going to buy the house. And we'll buy that house and it'll be done in 9 months to a year. And then they do it again.
Yeah. For the active listings again. So I think this is probably their sweet spot, right? About the 700,000 in the United States.
Yeah, 700,000 is an average home in Arizona. It's different in Texas. That's like
no. This is active listings. Of active listings in the U.S. is 700,000. Not the price. I'm sorry. Because we just saw the medium sell price is almost 383,000. That's crazy, but I think that's the sweet numbers that home builders are probably negotiating. Like, hey, let's just keep it under $1 million. 700, 800,000 seems like a good sweet spot. Because remember, in 2008 to 2012, the amount of homes available were way up there.
Yeah.
There was a huge supply of them, and that increase in supply brought prices to go down once everything started crashing. But now you can't. How are you going to crash the housing market now?
You can. The only way you can crash it is you put all these houses on the market. That's the only way.
Like what houses?
Well, that's what I mean. The magically,
How do you magically get more houses on the market?
half those people say I'm going to sell the house, but they're not with the rates being this
Yeah,
high.
with the rates being this high.
You can crash it if you say tomorrow. If you say rates are 3%, boom, you would probably have a lot of people buying and a lot of people selling.
Yeah, but we also heard Jerome Powell say that there's no plans to bring down rates this year or next year. In fact, there's going to be 2 more rate jumps this year.
Yep. Yeah, we knew that was going to happen.
And then next year, no plans to cut rates. So we're going to be in a very difficult housing market.
2024 is going to suck too. So
if you're trying to get a house, I mean, this year sucks. Next year is going to be worse. Rates are going to go up higher.
well, yeah. So you have to buy a brand new home.
But at the same time, I mean, with low rates, we had a so much boom and bust economy, though. I mean, maybe
It was great.
I mean, because these rates were normal, like 20 plus years ago, and things were more stable.
I was doing when I first got into mortgages. Geez Louise, 2004. Yeah, 20 years ago, 8% was normal. Yeah, everyone's like, cool. I mean, I remember doing like 7.5, 7.8, 7.5, 9% rates. You know, people with bad credit, and people were buying it left and right and paying points. You know, that was a different world. But yeah, it's completely different now.
The only thing is, it's like nothing's slowing down the cost of a house right now.
Which sucks. Nothing is slowing down, correct?
Not even the increase in rates.
But people aren't making more money. There's no like raises. I don't know how housing's going up as much as it is.
Is it just because there's people who have a lot of cash who are just buying it and flipping them for rent?
It's all investors like BlackRock buying houses and renting them out, and then they'll sell them when the market keeps going up even more.
Yeah, could be.
BlackRock can play the long game.
Yeah, they can.
You know,
They're
they can buy all these
investment
houses and say, you know what? Let's sit on these investments and let's just charge a hell of a high rate on rent, and we're good. We'll sell these in 10 years.
So
make our money.
Yeah, because I think I read an article that 80% of mortgages right now are under 5%. So who wants to give that up for a 7% with a house that costs more?
It's going to cost more. Yeah, right. Cost more. Rates can be a lot more. Your house payment's going to be a lot more. Unless you really can afford it, you do it.
I don't think that prices will like crash. I think they'll just get to a point where it just stops and stays steady. Stay steady with the interest rates, stay steady with house prices, and then people will just have to eventually figure out a way to get better earning potential to be able to afford that house at the 7% rate. But that's going to take time. And I think that's the long game the Federal Reserve is talking about, because Jerome Powell did say this is going to take a while. This is going to take a while. It's not going to be a short fix.
Well, we already know it's going to be the rest of this year and next year. So you're maybe looking at 2025 is like when you can take a breath.
Well, maybe, hopefully house prices go down, but if they stay the same, then people really have to fight up.
Let's be honest. You only want the house prices to go down if you have to buy. If you already have a house, you're like, go up, go up, go up. Let's be honest.
But you also can't move up in a house. You can't just sell your house that you just bought 10 years ago. Yeah, you're gonna make money off it, but to get your next house to move up in, it's still gonna be expensive, and you're looking at a higher rate. So the move up buyer is also gone.
Well, for now, the move up buyer is gonna buy in a couple of years, unless he was planning on buying this year. Then he's screwed. If you waited out, you already have your house, because at the end of the day, your house goes up. It doesn't matter, because that house you're buying, yeah, it's expensive, but your house went up. So you have all this equity. Same thing on the down low. Oh, housing's going down. That's okay, because you sell your house low, you're buying a new house low. So that part evens out. I'm just saying, if you don't have a house, you're screwed. If you don't have a house, if you don't have a base, you're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, we've kept seeing these YouTube bros about the housing market to crash, but the longer they wait, the more the house is becoming more unaffordable.
No one can tell. You watch those things. Half the people tell you this, half the people tell you the opposite, and one of them is going to be right. Right?
Oh, sure.
I'm telling you right now, if you have a house, you're already winning. If you have a house in your name, you have a mortgage on it, you're already winning. It's those that have to sell their house. We know people that have to sell for one thing or another, and they're looking at the market going, I can't afford a new house.
Yeah.
I have to get a roommate, move in back with my parents, move in with my sister, like whatever it is, like if you don't have your own house, you're screwed. You're going to be enslaved to renting. But then again, we talked about this the other day. Do you even ever own your house?
Yeah, we talked about this. I think the only difference between renting and home ownership, I'm going to say that in air quotes, is that you have equity. You don't own the land. The government does. It's an illusion. Because what if you stop paying your property taxes?
They take your house.
They take your house. So do you really own the house?
No.
And if you live in an HOA neighborhood, if you stop paying your HOA dues, what do?
They can foreclose on you.
Yep.
Which is crazy. It's crazy. I mean, they have to give you like all these warnings and stuff in advance. You could settle. I mean, if you get a good attorney, you could settle on it. But
the ability that they can do that shows you don't have ownership of the house and the ground.
If you have a bad HOA and for some reason or another, they don't like you, and they can give you fines for the stupidest reasons. And good luck fighting that.
Yeah, I mean, they try to gentrify their communities, right? They try to push out certain minorities or certain groups of people. It happens. We all know it.
Yeah.
Especially if I've read this too about communities that they don't want some of these houses to be rented to Section 8 people. So they make a new rule that you can't rent your house out to Section 8 applicants anymore. And those people get kicked out of those communities.
Wow. That's crazy.
HOA can be crazy, but it's also the people who are in the position of authority in your HOA community.
Like HOAs, I mean, they can't control that. Like, I know my HOA, they probably don't like Airbnbs here in our neighborhoods. They probably don't like, the renters, they're not as bad, but they probably don't want Airbnbs, people coming in, renting. There's an Airbnb right behind us. I can tell because it's always different people in the backyard. But another thing is that halfway homes, there's halfway homes where we know someone that's in a halfway home now.
What's a halfway home again?
So it's basically it's a house that has, they rent the rooms out.
Oh, okay.
And I actually have a friend that owns a couple houses like that, and the government pays them pretty good to rent those rooms out to people that were getting out of drug rehabs, people that are getting out of jail that need to, I don't want to discriminate, but a lot of HOAs don't want to see that because they're like, hey, these people had problems in the past. How do we know they're not going to bring their problems back?
Or into this community.
Into the community. They don't want their kids. I mean, a lot of HOA members, like board members, they have kids. They don't want their kids to be...
Well, they're fellow members or fellow homeowners of that community.
Yep.
That's who the HOA board members are.
Yep.
And, it would behoove people to attend their meetings and have a voice into what's going on in the community. I mean, do you want certain things to be enforced or not? Or what do you want in your community that makes it feel safe?
Correct.
But HOAs, I mean, good, bad. It could be bad if enough people allow it. If you don't attend to the meetings, have a voice, actually run for a seat as a board member. But anyway, housing, I don't know how it's going to go down.
No one does. So all you can do is run it through, see what happens.
Yep. Anything else? I don't know how we got on housing, but it's always a good
we're
topic.
always going to run off topic, so it is what it is. And then we'll just bounce back and go back to, hey, where were we?
But if you have any comments about housing, please let us know, because I was one of those people who thought, oh, housing's going to crash, and it has yet to. And I don't think it will crash because of how things are set up right now. Anyway, move on.
Up to you.
All right, so all over the internet has been all about the whole Ocean Gate Titan that's basically imploded in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean visiting the Titanic. And what's been crazy about this is the amount of memes that have been out there. And you know, people who are writing down there are apparently super rich people, billionaires or multimillionaires. And the internet is really ruthless. They just don't care about the rich. It's like, eat the rich. Like, stupid enough to go into a tube that's intentionally cut corners on safety, and now you implode it in the bottom of the ocean. I mean, how did you react to that?
I can't believe it's real. I've seen it. Like, there's no way I'm getting in that. There's no way I'm getting... Right now, I'm not getting into that. Me as a billionaire, I am not getting in that. Get away with your craziness. Like, the Titanic, like, I'm a billionaire. I'll build my own submarine. I'll call the U.S. Coast Guard or Navy, and I'll jump in their submarine. Mm-hmm. You know, why do I have to go into this little pod, which is freaking insane? I don't believe it. Like, I can't believe these billionaires, these rich people, like, would do that.
Well, billionaires are willing to pay top dollar for, like, a certain thrill that not too many people have access to. Visit the Titanic, go to outer space, you know,
no,
things like that.
Not me. The thrill I'd have is a 16-car garage with all my toys. That's my thrill. Mm-hmm. Going to Europe, Italy, Greece, going on vacations. That's my thrill. Not, let's go down the ocean and be, you know, another crew member or another passenger on the Titanic with all the rest of those ghosts, you know? I feel bad for him. I feel bad for that. There's a 19-year-old kid that went on there that did not want to go. Apparently.
I mean, if you saw the ship and you see that it's controlled by, like, a game controller,
I'm not going. If I got there and I saw this is it, yeah, hard pass. Keep my money. I'm good. Mm-hmm. Take video. I'll tell my friends that I was there.
I mean, all you're doing is in an uncomfortable tube and you look through a window to see the Titanic. It's just as good as watching a video.
They didn't have regular seats. Did you see it?
No, they just sit Indian style with their shoes off. Crammed inside that tube.
So what happens if the ship submerges or whatever? Like, you're rolling in there, bumping into each other. Mm-hmm. There's no seatbelts. Mm-hmm. I still can't believe people did that. But I can. It's the same thing, you know, to get clicks and just to say I did that. That billionaire that went to space that wanted to say, I saw the Titanic wreckage. I don't care about the Titanic wreckage. I already saw the movie. I already see the things on History TV.
Yeah, History has plenty of footage that you could see. That's probably just as good as actually going down there because you can't physically touch it. You can't really swim around there and explore it.
What? Just, I was down at the wreckage. No one gives a crap.
Yeah, I don't have to spend.
Good for you. You spent
$250,000. I could just watch on TV.
You're stupid. You spent $250,000 on going down and seeing the same thing you could have saw on your TV. What's that say about you? You're freaking. You're hard-headed. I can't even think right now. I'm so, like, think about it. $250,000. You could have spent that money on something else, feeding the homeless or something good.
If you're like a billionaire, that's like that's just change in your pocket, right?
True, but just to say, hey, I went down to because.
Did you touch it? Did you explore it?
But if you told me, hey, dude, I went to Ocean Gate. First thought in my head, you spent $250,000 on that, and all you got me on my birthday was a $25 gift card. Like, are you serious? Like, I'd be super pissed. Like, but you're dead, so it doesn't matter. Like you said, the internet trolls and everyone that makes fun of them. Like, it is what it is. It kind of sucks for the family, though. Can you imagine? Like,
day in, day out, all you've seen is people joking about your family members died. Yep. Hey, dad died. Oh, because...
Imagine going back to school and kids going, your dad was so stupid. And they don't care if you cry or whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's just how society reacts to people who become rich, you know?
Can you imagine the wives right now?
Wives are probably
They're
devastated.
crying right now with the billions of dollars in their eyes. They just...
But the thing is, like, do we really feel bad for people who succeed in life? But it's also, how did they succeed? Is it old money or did they work hard to earn that money?
True. A lot of it's old money.
I'm sure it's old money, right? They didn't deserve it. They just grew up into it.
Yeah.
They got lucky.
Yeah.
But
because if you're that rich, I think new money billionaires are like thinking, I'm not getting in that. I worked way too freaking hard to like just throw my life away. I think old money is just you grew up so rich that you have no idea of the real world.
You kind of feel detached from reality, right?
You are detached
because you have this weird sense of superiority over people. Like you're king, queen, and you go in public and you look at a server way differently. Like they're just a servant, a peasant.
You never had to worry about pumping $2 of gas in your truck. You never had to worry about money. You never had to pay at the counter with quarters instead of dollar bills or whatever. Like they're so detached from what reality really is. The working man, right? Their ideal of struggle is going to be greatly different from what our ideal of struggle is, right? Their level of achievement and a thrill and excitement is going to be different from ours. Like if we went to like a very expensive restaurant, we'd be like, wow, we're feeling pretty good. This feels like a 10. Like we got like a super nice reservation, or we got a suite somewhere. For them, they go when they travel. It's always a suite. It's always.
And they probably complain about something about a suite, like they're comparing it with other suites. Like this doesn't have the extended this and that. This suite is smaller than the other one, and it costs this much.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But we get one suite in Vegas, we feel awesome.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But
these people have that life. They vacation every weekend. We do it once a year.
But I think the thing that bothers me the most is just how they treat other people, how they treat working class.
The super rich, yes, not the working class, but everyone else.
Everyone else, I guess, yeah.
It's just the way. Maybe it was karma. I don't know. Someone's gonna be like, "Oh, you're insensitive." No, I'm not. Like, dude, we know what it is to be poor. It sucks. It sucks.
It's hard to just get out of that situation.
Well, being in the situation, you don't think you can get out, and then when you do, you like cherish it and you treat people great. Billionaires, like old money billionaires, they don't care, dude. They're not gonna care, and it is what it is. And they're the ones that don't pay shit for taxes. Sorry, but
that too.
That they find loopholes that were created by other billionaires.
Yeah, and they all they have to do is hire someone to figure it out.
Yep. So
and it's cheaper to pay them than it is to pay the government taxes.
At the end of the day, I'm not going down to the bottom of the ocean for nothing. I'm not going to space. I'm not. No, there's no. You can't drag me. I'm rich. I'm staying rich. I ain't going anywhere. I like breathing. I'm good. Crisscross applesauce. Jeez, you lost me at that. Definitely not going in there.
Actually, let's play this. Some person made a good.
All week I've been fascinated with this story.
Yeah, let me show the video with it so everyone can see. He says all week he's fascinated with this story. Let me continue playing it.
Billionaire trapped in the bottom of the sea in search of the Titanic. It'll take 6 hours to get there and only 8 hours of oxygen. Suspense. Will they live? Will they die? Duped by the fucking media again. Monday, the Titan is missing. Tuesday, there's a banging sound. Wednesday, they're running out of air. Thursday, oh no, we found the wreckage. But the entire time, they knew it was BS. U.S. Navy knew the sub already blew up on Sunday. But they distracted us, again, to hide the news cycle. What happened this week? Let's do a quick recap on what you missed. JP Morgan and Jeffrey Epstein emails were released. And now they have just mistakenly deleted 47 million emails.
I'm going to pause that real quick, just to fact check that. Real first, you think the whole opportunity of this...
Yeah. Let's play the whole thing, then we'll talk about the whole thing.
Okay.
Joe Biden is undergoing an impeachment vote in the House, or at least trying. The Pentagon fat-fingers $6 billion to Ukraine. Hunter Biden gets a slap on the wrist, while FBI whistleblowers are going missing. And John Durham had his congressional hearing this week regarding the Russia hoax. But I was so busy wondering about the billionaire who decided to go boating in a submersible soda can, I missed it all. All week I've been fast.
So
wow, a lot of allegations in that one.
what I was getting at with is that the whole thing with the billionaires being imploded in the bottom of the ocean was just a big media distraction because they got hour by hour media coverage for the past week.
Yeah, they did. Everyone at work was talking about it. Our
Yeah.
receptionist like knew everything about it.
Yeah. And I was like, why am I supposed to care? People did stupid crap and, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Correct.
So I had to care. Why? Because it was all over my social media feed. It was all over the internet. It was all over my news stations, hour by hour.
You're right. It was all over the feeds.
So thank you, Hans Zimmer, for that clip because it made me think.
No, Hans Zimmer's the song.
Hans Zimmer's the song. Okay, who is this guy? Fact-Based Existence.
Mad Attack 009.
Mad Attack 009.
Reposted
Okay.
that. I don't
Either
know.
or. Appreciate it. Like to hear from you one day. That'd be cool. But good stuff because I looked up while I was running what these are. So let me run the first one. So
Just look up the JP Morgan emails. I heard something about that.
So it involved with documents with Epstein's relationship with JP Morgan Chase. And if you've been living under a rock, I mean, we all know about Epstein, mysterious death, mysterious suicide. The guy was well connected with super rich elite people, hooking them up with young prostitutes on an island. Allegedly, right? And
I never got an invite to that island.
Yeah. And apparently, JP Morgan accidentally deleted 47 million records.
Including a subpoena docs. Wait, how do you accidentally delete 47 million? Oh, I know. You knew they're going to ask for them.
This article by Daily Beast, it says, they're going to pay a fine of $4 million for the Securities and Exchange Commission. Oh, okay. That's all. I'll happy to delete 47. It's like, what's the worst? They find these emails or pay a $4 million fine. Is that it?
That's a slap on the wrist for them. $4 million? Okay.
Yeah, if it is a slap. So.
It seems like nothing for a bank. Right? $4 million? Usually they get fined like $4 billion. God, banks make so much money.
Well, they do, and it's just like, okay, what? Like
late fees and interest.
47 million emails.
That's a lot of emails. I could see 47. Like that's still a lot. Like you had 47 million emails.
So when you delete something, there's still a way to retrieve it back in your recycling bin. So
they deleted
it. Oops, I deleted it. Let me recall them back. Oops, I deleted them permanently.
Yeah, that's true. So they did it twice.
Like, oh, okay, you selected all.
They knew what they were doing.
They knew exactly what they're doing, but we'll just buy it off that and we'll slap them with a $4 million fine. Like, okay, we know this is corruption.
That's my bank too, Chase.
Why bank with them?
I like them. I've banked with them for a long time. I used to work for them and doing mortgages, and I've never had I had some bad experiences with Wells Fargo and Bank of America, so Chase has always done me pretty well.
What do you benefit out of them?
I don't benefit crap. I just have my money there.
Well, I mean, I bank with like SoFi to get the 4% yield on my savings.
I just don't trust internet banks.
Internet banks?
Yeah.
But you don't mind trusting JP Morgan?
Yeah, it's right down the street. I just walk over there.
Oh, you can just walk there. But what do you need a physical bank for?
They have free coffee.
Jesus Christ, that's all it takes?
Yeah. Their coffee's
they have
horrible.
coffee, so they could just, my
coffee.
yield on my savings is less than 1%.
Yeah.
Or less than 1/10%. Go ahead and have the remaining
I think it's 0.0
interest.
Yeah. I just have my check in there.
But, with like some of the other ones, like I use Betterment, Wealthfront, SoFi, they all have above 4% APY. So like every
I can't remember who we have for our savings accounts. My wife does that. It gives us like 5% back. I forgot APY.
5% sounds like a CD. I don't know
but it's a savings account.
Are you sure it's a saving?
Yeah, our financial guy told us about it. It's an internet bank, but I'd have to ask her when she gets back.
Okay, because I know a lot of CDs are above 5%, but I can't find any.
That's the good thing about when rates are high, CDs are high.
Well, that's one way to offset inflation. But when rates were high, that's how people retired. They just kept saving money in their savings account. And they just lived off the interest off their savings, and that's how they retired.
So when rates go down, it's bad for those people.
Well, yeah, you have to shuffle your money. You have to put in stocks that pay a dividend and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of moving your money.
But if you're old, do you really want to do that?
You have someone else do it.
It sucks.
Well, I mean, that's financial education. You have to know where your money is, how it works for you.
I don't know. You see our dad doing that?
No?
Exactly. Like when you're old, like, and you don't trust people.
Well, if I'm old and I have that money, well, of course, only I trust my money.
Yeah.
So if something goes down with a bank, like drop yield, I'll be shopping around for another place to put my money. Same thing with stocks. Dividend got cut. What happened? Company's going down. Moving my money before it gets worse. Like that becomes your new job, is how to manage your own money, keep it working for you. Anyway, got on a tangent. The next thing he talked about was, and the news has been relatively recent too. So this one a few days ago about House Republicans' move of Biden impeachment forward, just because of all the things that his son has been doing, and he's involved too, right? Joe Biden is involved. And
I heard the speaker didn't want to impeach him. Kevin McCarthy.
Sure, because he has a relationship with Joe Biden, so they had to work in getting.
What he said something like he didn't want to stoop to their level, and trying to work this out.
Mm-hmm.
You can go. I think the whole thing is crazy with Joe Biden. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't see how you are a Democrat and you champion Joe Biden. That's the best you can get. He was like this when he was running. Like that's the best you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll say, "Oh, he's still great, this and that." No, he's not, dude. What freaking rock do you live on? Like, dude, I'll take RFK any day.
Oh, sure.
RFK's, I think he's legit for I'd have to look hard and be like, I could pick him. I could vote for him. 100%. He has great ideas.
What's the greatest idea you've heard him say?
Great ideas. Honestly, the number one reason I really like RFK, and this is selfish, is Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, that's it?
No, not just that. I mean, that's the number one reason.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else, every other country is going to be using, digital currencies, and for some reason, the SEC and everyone here is holding it back.
My biggest issue with RFK is that I have not heard about.
We're not talking issues. We're talking like benefits. Like that's one benefit is that he's willing to embrace younger generations and the whole digital and tech stuff. But he has hard stances on trying to keep, the border and immigration.
What is his stance, though? I don't know.
He doesn't want an open border.
He does not.
But he does want to help fix immigration. He says that immigration is like broken because it takes forever for someone to go through that process.
Yeah, and so what? Average 7 years.
He wants to streamline it.
I understand that he wants to streamline it because people don't understand like how come people just don't go through the system and get their legal citizenship, because it takes like on average 7 years. So if you're broke,
but that's on average. If you're broke, it's 20 years.
And opportunities are right over that fence, you're not going to wait 7 years. You're going to go for it.
Yeah.
Of course, people who have some money are able to go through the process. They can wait it out. Like I get it. Sometimes the process can go faster if you have more money.
If you have money, it goes faster.
It goes way faster. But if you're just an average worker,
but you have money, so you can wait it out.
Well, being an average worker in like Mexico or further south, I mean, their money is not that much, and to save up and get through the process, it's still going to take 7 years for them, right? If you're like crazy rich, you can get your citizenship.
But I'm going to go back to what you just said. You're not going to wait if you have that opportunity,
right?
But if you have that opportunity, you're here. You're coming to work,
right?
You're coming to be a tax-paying citizen. Why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want a hard worker?
So, what do you do with illegals now? If that's the only law that they broke was entering illegally, do they pay a fine until they get through the process of a green card? Like, should there be like an in-between tier of
Well, I saw
immigrant coming into this country and green card, but there's a tier in the middle where, okay, you came in illegally, so you're going to continuously pay a fine, but we're not going to throw you in a cage because we see that you're willing to be part of the communities and pay taxes.
Well, what are you talking about? Continuing paying a fine? Like, are you going to charge them?
Well, they
every
broke the
month?
law, right? They
Is
came
it
here
real
illegally.
law? Is it a real law?
Well, crossing the border. I mean, can you do
Is
that
it-
in any other
is it
country?
real law?
And do that in Europe.
Yeah, but
Do that in Canada and be like, okay, I want to start working. I don't have any documentation.
when
of my
did they say
existence.
that was a law? Because I'm pretty sure back in the day, they said, and it's on the Statue of Liberty, they said that if you're willing to come and be a citizen, we have our arms wide open for you.
Oh, sure. If you're looking for freedom.
If you're looking for freedom.
Mm-hmm.
What changed? People don't want to lose their jobs. What jobs?
Mm-hmm.
Dishwasher, working at McDonald's. Like, let's be honest. Like, if you're scared that someone jumps the border and is going to take your job, then you suck at your job, or you're working at a beginning level job and got comfortable and didn't push yourself. If someone that doesn't speak English comes here and takes your job, you should look in the mirror and say, I'm worthless. If someone
So do you believe the border should be open?
I don't think it should be 100% open the way it is.
So we should know who comes in this country?
We should know who comes in.
Okay, sure. I believe that.
I think you should know. I honestly think if you have criminal ties, no, we don't want you in here.
Well, how are they going to find out?
Records.
Or they just pull them from Mexico?
Pull them from Mexico.
Bring your...
No, we should have. You should have some kind of ID. Let me see your Mexican ID. Cool. Enter the numbers in at the border and know who this person is. Well, it says here you've just got out of jail.
Well, that's assuming these countries have that kind of relationship where they're willing to provide personal information like that.
Correct.
People coming in and out.
Well, it should be before they get into the U.S. There should be the Mexican side of the border should be doing that. Like, the Mexican side of the border should have their police not letting those people in.
Okay, now you're telling another country what to do.
Yeah. Do you want good relations or not?
Well, I mean,
why
the U.S. can only control what it can control. It can't
Right.
just tell another country what to do.
Yeah,
We
you
can
can.
suggest it. We can make a
Yeah,
request.
you can. You can suggest, hey, we need to do this.
But it doesn't mean they have to go by it.
They don't have to.
They don't
but
have to oblige whatsoever. They
But
just
why
have
wouldn't
their
they
own
want
rules.
to?
Like, why do we want to put these resources
Yeah.
in? We're not as rich as you.
well, we'll supply the resources.
Okay, then who wants to vote for that to supply them the resources when we could use those resources within our own country?
Do you want better safety, or do you want, because the borders aren't going to close. So you have to put something in place. That's the more realistic way to do it. You train the police, the policia, and say, hey, we're going to integrate this. We don't want any criminals to come over. How hard is it for them to do that? You're acting like, oh, why would they care? They're going to want all their criminals to come over.
Well, they don't know who they are, so
Yeah,
it's
they do.
hard, it's hard
ID.
to tell who's a criminal and who's not a criminal.
Every time, ID.
A Mexican ID?
Yeah, Mexican ID.
Who's to say the Mexican networks of governance tracks everyone's information like that?
They do.
Or Nicaragua, or very much
Well,
poorer
that's
countries.
different. Other
right?
poor countries probably don't, but that's something you can have with Mexico.
But I mean, the border is not just to prevent Mexicans coming
Yeah.
over; it's preventing many other countries coming over.
That's the major issue.
There's
Is
people
other
who are
countries.
so poor they don't have any documentations that proves their existence. So when they try to cross the border, you don't. Yeah, it's a clean slate, but you don't know what their background is.
That's what would worry me.
So that, I mean, I understand your point. Maybe Mexico does have the resources. We're just using Mexico as one country, but it's not just Mexico
Yeah.
dealing with the southern border. It's all Central and South America as well. And
Well-
some of these countries, like I said, they're so poor. These people don't have documentation.
Yeah,
to
they don't
prove their
have. Yeah,
existence.
you're right. They probably don't. But I'd be hesitant to let them in.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's how most of the country feel. Like, I'm hesitant to let them in. Like, how do we know whether they're just going to come here and start robbing people
Killing people.
or killing people? But how do we know that they'll be a great member to our society?
We don't.
Just don't know. But
Yeah.
how do they prove it?
Yeah.
How do they prove
I
it?
wouldn't let them in.
Like, I get it. Like,
I wouldn't
at the
let
same
'em in.
time, it's like, if to that person who just traveled from like Nicaragua, like super poor country, and came and they're in Mexico and they're at the border, like, I'm just going to jump over this.
What
I don't have the money to
how about
start
sponsorship?
like, how do you get the sponsorship?
Family member or a company?
Well, sure, there's that too. There's sponsorships, but what if they don't have that
And they don't
opportunity?
come in.
They're going to make the effort to come in.
Yeah.
They're
Then they're
gonna
going to
make the
get
effort
caught
to
and
come
get
in.
thrown out.
Like, yeah, I mean, do we need this cycle where people come in and we kick them out? They come back in, they kick them out. or throw them in a cage. When they get out, they get deported and come back in.
Yeah,
that's why I was suggesting, like, okay, we understand that you were just too poor to get in the process of going through immigration, so we know who you are and you can be trusted in our communities. But at the same time, we need to have an ID on you so we know who you are. So if you get in trouble, we know who you are. But if you have like this clean slate for years and you're illegal, we can get you in a process where you can become a benefiting member to our societies. But at the same time, they did break the law, though. So that's why I was saying maybe a fee base, that they have to pay an extra fee because...
Well, how? They're poor.
Well, they come to this country and they get a job. I mean, they're not as poor as they were in their country where they just came from. Well, that's what I was saying. Is with the ID. Now, how do you get that process going?
You give them an ID, but they go to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they get a job under the table. How are they going to pay that fee?
Albuquerque, New Mexico? Like, well, maybe if they just go in to...
You have them in the system, but if they get a job that doesn't...
Well, like the system that brought them in with an ID, right? It's like, this is who you are. And we want to see that, you know, you have W-2s to show that you're paying taxes. If they're getting money on their table, it's not reflecting back on them that they're...
And they're not doing taxes, and now they're here,
taxes,
same thing. Now they're here under the radar.
They're under the radar, but they're ID'd. So it's like, hey, what have you been doing to be making money? Like, they could have the ability to look at bank statements.
But how do you get the fee that you wanted from them?
This is just for people, I'm saying, who they get the fee from, who have a W-2 job. Maybe they work at the jobs that most Americans don't want to work. Yeah. And it shows that, with all that being a good Samaritan, that they've been paying their taxes, the W-2s reflect it. Then you could put, they're trusted to move forward.
But that's a small number because we just argued.
A small number? I think there's a lot of people who are willing to go through that if they could become an American.
No, because there's still a lot. Yeah, if they're willing to be American, there's a lot of Hispanics that don't want to be American here in Arizona.
But they just want to work?
They just want to work.
Now, how do you feel about that?
Well, that's a different story. I want to go back to yours. So you ID this guy, you tell him you're going to have to pay a fee, and he's thinking in his mind, I don't want to pay a fee. I can work at construction under the table and get dollars, make money, have a nice life, and I never have to worry about paying that fee because they'll never know I'm here. So that one, you can't charge that fee. So there has to be another way to do that. Is
that someone already ID'd or not?
That guy's ID'd.
So he's ID'd, but his W-2s don't reflect that he's paying taxes.
Why would he have W-2s if he's getting paid under the table, if he's 1099?
But he's living in the country for so many years, but he shows that he pays no taxes.
There's
but he's
people
ID'd.
like that don't pay taxes. They're 1099, and then you never see their taxes. So do you go for the companies and say, because they don't have to do this, and say you have to tell us everyone that's working for your company? That's invasion of their privacy. A lot of companies don't want to do that, right? So we'll think of a way to do that, but I get where you're going at.
Well, yeah, that's my point. It's like
there's no real answer, but
there really isn't. I'm just trying to come up with one idea that's trying to stick. Of like, we have people who have good intentions that want to come to this country and be great members to the society. It's just we make it very hard to streamline people to be part of our communities who the country will benefit from. Yeah, 7 years on average, like that's a long freaking time.
But then again, you have people here right now that they're paying taxes, right?
Illegally
under a fake social or whatever. Do you think if they've been here X amount of years, no criminal record, but they've been paying taxes, that we should be able to say, look at them and say, you've been no trouble, 10 years here, we're going to put you in the process?
Yeah.
Or do you kick them out?
I would want them to stay, because if that was their only crime, was coming here illegally,
you can get past that.
I mean, crossing the border, just like jaywalking, should you be thrown in jail?
No, I don't think you.
I don't think that you should really be thrown in jail for crossing the border illegally. Like, I understand everyone has a different reason why. Some people are here for opportunity. Some people are here to do cartel runs, right? I get it.
Or just make their money. They saw Scarface and they're like, oh yeah, I can do that. Let's be honest, it's a better life here in the United States that we take for granted.
And I mean, it's a different topic, but like, what if people stop sacrificing everything to get into this country? It's a good reflection of this country that people are willing to sacrifice everything behind to come into this country for better opportunities.
Yeah.
That's why America's so great. But just to get someone who's just super poor trying to get into this country, how do you get them opportunities to work here?
I don't know.
We make it very difficult. 7 years on average?
No,
a lot. That's
on
just average.
That's
just
on average.
It could be longer.
It is.
Especially
longer.
if you have no money.
Yeah.
You barely have 2 pesos to rub in your pocket.
Yeah. We don't want those people, is what you're saying. Right? Not you, but our country.
Our country. Well, here's the thing.
It's broken.
Well, there's always that fluctuation of like, okay, when this happened in Bush Jr., when he embraced immigrants, because so many people don't want to work these low-paying jobs, so who can only work them now? You increase the amount of immigrants that start working those jobs, right?
Build the houses and stuff. Landscaping and stuff. It's all Hispanics mostly.
Mm-hmm.
It's
our fast food restaurants. Come on,
dude. McDonald's right here is like Little Mexico. It's all Mexicans working.
Exactly. Those are the people who are going to take those jobs, because we're at a point where many Americans, first, second, third generations, are too entitled, too good to be working those jobs because we want to elevate ourselves higher.
But also back to Mexicans working at McDonald's, they climb that ladder, the corporate ladder. You know, I know, like, because my kids like to go to McDonald's. I talk to them, you know, and, you know, just BS with them. They know who we are. They know my kids, and, you know, they're super nice. But I was like, hey, where's Olivia? Oh, yeah, she's now a district manager. So they're working hard at those jobs to climb the ladder. And for them, they're happy. Mm-hmm. They're making more money. They're living way better than they would in Mexico or wherever they're from, right? Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, I don't look down on them, because I know for a fact if I wasn't born here, I would do the same thing. I'd be jumping that border, getting away from that life.
Well, you only have so many roads to prosper when you're an immigrant versus someone who has citizenship. You can go, you do more, right? You can apply for more jobs out there that can bring you up the corporate ladder. But if you're like an immigrant, barely knows English, you don't have too many opportunities to climb the corporate ladder. So you're going to just start at McDonald's, become a supervisor, become a manager, work your way up, right?
That's why I hate when people say they're coming to take our jobs. Then you suck.
You suck at your job.
You suck. You should not be working that job.
You suck at capitalism.
If someone's coming in, that means you never pushed yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you're saying, I'm an assistant manager at Burger King, and these guys are taking my job, you should have been somewhere else. You know, you should have been somewhere else, not 50 years old assistant manager at Burger King. You didn't apply yourself.
Well, yeah, I mean.
So if Hector, that barely speaks English, gets promoted above you, you got to start looking in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
why is he working harder than you?
Yeah, this guy barely speaks English and he's outworking you.
Are you too good?
Yep.
To be working at Burger King?
Because you get soft.
Mm-hmm.
They got soft.
Are you too good? Are you too entitled?
Correct.
You don't appreciate hard work. I mean, that is our generations coming up, though. But yeah, like I was saying, there's just a lot of jobs that people don't want to pay. So how do you fill in those jobs? You do it with immigrants. It's always been like that.
Let's be honest. Hotels, resorts that you go to, it's a lot of Hispanics that work those jobs. Mm-hmm. A lot of minorities. Mm-hmm. And they're happy. They don't care. They're happy.
Well, are they happy because it's a job that pays better than what they would have gotten in their other country? Right.
Yes. Yes.
And we don't know it as Americans to really understand that. So there is that detachment. We see them as a nuisance. They're coming in. I mean, the whole thing with they're trying to take our jobs is really stupid.
No, if they're
really stupid.
Again, like we said, if they're taking if you're scared that they're going to take your job, you're stupid. Mm-hmm. Plain and simple. Yep.
You go to a restaurant, there's a lot of open seats. You're like, there's a lot of open seats. How come we can't get service? No one wants those jobs. The only people who are going to be willing to do those jobs soon are going to be the immigrants.
Yeah, because there's so many places. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a 30-minute wait. There's half your tables are open. Oh, we only have a certain amount of service.
We have one cook right now. That's it. That's all we have right now because no one wants to do the job.
No one wants to work.
Nope. No one wants to work. No one wants to pay.
They want the higher pay, so they think, I don't know.
Okay, let me separate this. Americans, citizens, first, second generations, they don't want the pay. But the people who are willing to do the work are going to be the immigrants.
And that's how they take your jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're like, oh, $20 an hour is not enough. And then this kid comes and says, oh my God, you're paying how much?
$20 an hour. He takes that job. He moves up.
Sí, por favor. You know, they'll take that job and they'll climb the corporate ladder and outwork you because they're happy to be there. So they can buy stuff.
There's definitely a lot of stories like that, though.
Yep, a ton of stories.
And now circling back to how RFK Jr. His immigration policy. What was it again?
RFK's he doesn't want an open border. He doesn't want just anybody to come in. How does he do it? We don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't know what his policy is. And a lot of politicians always throw a blank statement on, we need to fix immigration and borders and that, and nothing gets done.
But the media won't let him talk either, though.
Sure, yeah. Well,
they don't ask him those questions.
Well, a lot of the whole thing with RFK, as I see on the media, is like vaccine policies and other controversial ones. I want to hear from him, like, what is his immigration policy is going to be different? What is foreign policy going to be like? Like, what's he plan to do to end the war in Ukraine and with Russia?
Yeah, he wants to debate, but no one wants to debate him.
I mean, I just want to hear, like, the hard stuff. Like, okay, he might be a little indifferent with the popular opinion on vaccines, but that's, like, all the media focuses on. I want to know, like, the more harder stuff. Like, how are you going to get this economy going? How are people going to feel richer compared to Joe Biden? Like, how do we get better jobs out? How do we get people to get better paying jobs because they can't afford a house right now?
Yep.
They're struggling. So many people are struggling to live the American dream of get a house and move up. Those are, like, some of the hard stuff I want to hear from RFK, and it's really hard to dig and find that because all I see, again, is, like, all vaccine and conspiracy theories with him.
Yep.
I want to hear more about RFK. I'm not sold on him until I hear more about that, but at the same time, I feel like they do it intentionally so you don't hear about what he really has to offer. I don't know. Maybe RFK will do better than Biden. Hopefully we hear about that.
I think he would. At least he'd be out there. He would take questions from the press. You know, when's the last time? I don't know. I'm done with politics. I think it's just a popularity contest.
Circling back to one of the claims on that video we saw, the short, with the Pentagon, accounting error provides extra $6.2 billion for Ukraine military aid. Another recent activity in the past, 5 days? How is that an accounting error, and who's in trouble?
Yeah, who's going to be accountable for that? And where's the money going to come from?
Because if I did that for my, like, say I was working for a private company, and I was responsible for the accounting error of $6 billion, I'd probably get fired and probably thrown in jail.
I don't know about the jail part, unless you did it maliciously. Obviously, there'd be some kind of investigation to see where that money went, why, and if you got any of it. How's your bank account look like? What have you been buying? Have you gone on any vacations? They would investigate the crap out of you. But if it's an innocent fat finger thing, but let's be honest, that amount of money, that's too much money. That's a lot of money. I don't think it's an error. Come on.
I don't think it's an error either.
You know damn well half of it came back.
Well, these mistakes, no one takes accountability. Like, they just let the mistake go by. Oh, we won't do it again. That's it. Like, it's like, hey, we really need to get $6.2 billion in. Let's just say it was a mistake. That's all that's needed.
So did they send them the money? I guess they did. Like, who got the money? Like, where's the receipts? You know?
I would love to see something like that.
Like, where are the receipts? Like, how did you miss $6.2 billion? Like
my taxes, I should be entitled to see how the government uses my monies and everyone's monies.
I don't know. That's a little too far.
Receipts and everything.
We would love to, but they're not going to.
Do a personal audit.
You'd figure out that the American taxpayers were paying too much money.
Well, that's the thing, because if I could personally audit and see how much my money is going into how the government spends its money, I would want to elect a representative who has ideals that align to mine. And that's, like, the best way to have our
wishful thinking.
Function, but yes, wishful thinking.
Because you know dang well, I'm being taxed X amount, but they've only spent this amount. 5% of our tax money. Where's the 95% of our money going? To pay them, to pay their salaries, to pay their vacations, to pay their write-offs. Like, it would make you sick. I guarantee you, it'd make you sick with the amount of taxes that we get charged. Property tax, what we just talked about earlier. Like, I'm already paying for this. I'm already getting charged interest by the bank to own this property. Why do I have to pay property tax? You know, income tax, sales tax, everything. There's taxes on everything. So you sell something, you get taxed on it. It's crazy.
You buy something, taxed. Sell something, taxed.
Yep.
Tax to death. That's one of the things that's certain in life is death and taxes.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah, wishful thinking. I just would love to see like how my money is being used, because I'm not paying taxes. They take taxes. If I may quote Chris Rock.
Yep.
So at least tell me how you're using that money. No.
Yeah, I ain't gonna tell you.
Another thing that video said is the whole special counsel who hunted for a deep state conspiracy president fundings. This is the whole with like the ties with the Trump administration and Russia. So with the John H. Durham, the Trump era special counsel, criticized the FBI during a 6-hour hearing before the House Judiciary Committee. Of course, not too many people heard about that because we're too busy with the whole submarine that went down, right?
Like, I don't know too much about this. And it's because I know more about the submarine and the lives of those people than what really happened. But I did watch a little bit on a Durham report, and they were like asking about Trump, and it wasn't about Trump. The Durham report is something different, and they kept saying, well, it's Trump's fault.
So, I mean, I think that was all that is with that video that we saw, but it makes me wonder, was the whole submarine tragedy just a real big distraction?
It worked. It worked. I mean, look at Hunter Biden, dude. He got nothing. There was like a report of all this attorney that was on TV talking about the number of her clients that all went to jail, like Ja Rule and all these other that went 3-5 years for stuff a lot less than what Hunter did. So there is no equal justice in this country, no matter how you say it, spin it, whatever. It's who you know.
So are there people in this country who are above the law?
Yeah, you know that. I mean, shit, if you told me, hey, you could be Luke Biden, I would take it. I'm getting away with everything. I am rich, bitch. But that's not going to happen, you know? And Hunter is just, he's got away with everything. And if I was him, straight edge from here on out. You're rich. You're loaded. Did you hear about the WhatsApp message from Hunter Biden?
No.
Wow. If that is real, if you can pull it up, it's WhatsApp app Hunter Biden, and you read it, you're going to be like, holy cow, this cannot be real. Because it has some allegations on there that totally implicates his dad. There's no way around it. 100% implicates his dad. And I saw a thread of it. Someone sent it to me, and I was like, no way this can be real. Because if this is real, that's pretty much all the information you need to go after him.
I'm still looking it up. About
yeah, no worries. But I think, go images. Go to images. Because it might pull it up. There it is right there in the blue. Second row. Nope, right there. Go down. Third row. In between the two hunters. Nope, go left. Go left. There. That's it right there. For those people... Can you pull up just that? There you go.
Let me zoom in on that.
Zoom in on that.
Okay, I don't know if people watching it can even see that. I try to zoom in, but I can read it out loud.
Yeah, read out loud.
So it says HZ. I don't know who that is. To someone. The text reads, I am sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand. And now get a call or text. Wait.
Now means tonight. And Z, if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, Zhang, or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows and my ability to forever hold a grudge that you will regret not following my direction. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father. With my father. Who's Hunter's dad? Joe Biden. If that is real, because I don't know, someone could be making, let's be honest, just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's real, right? Mm-hmm. Just because someone screenshot a message from Hunter Biden that's real. But if it's real.
How do you get that screenshot?
I don't know. Someone had to have got it somehow. But if that's real, and the CIA, FBI are even, and they're they should be asking the question, what were you talking about? What is this about?
Well, let's just say this is true. Everything about Hunter Biden is true. Do you think you'll ever face jail time?
No. That slap on the wrist already happened. They're not going to go after him for anything else. You better hope Trump doesn't get president. I'll tell you that right now. If Trump is elected president, he is going to go after him hard. Revenge.
Sending your kid to jail.
Yeah, he'll do that just to hurt you. And let's be honest, he should be in jail.
Oh, he definitely should be for just a lot of the corruption he's been involved.
Yeah, the tax evasion is true, right? You can't argue that. He should be in jail just for the tax evasion.
Fox News is just full of Hunter Biden too. All you have to do is scroll down Fox News because they're trying to pull up everything they can. One headline says Representative Jim Jordan pinpoints the big takeaway from Biden bombshell leaks and plea deal.
Here he got his plea deal.
Biden faces backlash for Camp David guest amid IRS whistleblower allegations. Dem Senator defends Hunter Biden's attendance at state dinner with Attorney General Garland. Hunter Biden allegedly wrote off sex trafficking as business expense. I don't know if I want to look at that one. It's just no way. Fox News loves to cover it. But this guy gets away with anything. Being the son of the president.
Yeah, he's not going to jail.
No,
But this should be a warning to him to start thinking you're in your 50s, dude. It's time to just hang out, enjoy your millions of dollars.
Billions possibly.
Well, could be billions. I don't know. But he's super rich.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'd take being a Biden right now in a heartbeat.
Sure.
I'm super rich. Why do I care what you think?
Mm-hmm.
His whole story is crazy. I think they'll make a movie about Hunter Biden. They have to. He's married. I don't know if he's married or he ended up with his brother's wife. His brother died and he ended up with her or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then he cheated on her with a stripper or something. I can't remember when she was pregnant. I don't know. It's a crazy story. But they got to make a movie about him.
Well, Fox News was just saying he was writing off, prostitutes for tax write-offs.
Yeah, there you go. That's crazy. Right now, that's tax. That's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny at the same time, though. Good for you. Wow, I wish I could do that.
Mm-hmm. Get away with anything.
Any of the stuff that he got away with. He's super rich, so I don't know. Let's stop talking about him. I'm jealous of his life.
Okay. All right. Other news. So Bud Light is no longer America's best-selling beer. I'm sure we've heard that for weeks now.
What American beer is number one?
Current beer for that is the Modelo brand. Wow. I don't even have it up for some reason.
Modelo's Mexican beer.
According to this article, that Modelo Especial ranked
great
number
beer.
1 in May with 333 million in sales.
15% increase. I wonder what caused that.
I'm surprised it wasn't Miller Lite or Coors Light.
They both suck.
I know they suck, but aren't they supposedly American beers?
I hate Coors Light.
Well, who was it that came out with a weird kind of feminist commercial? Was it Miller Lite or Coors?
What do you mean weird feminist?
I'll look it up. I think it was Miller Lite.
I think it was Miller Lite. I think I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Let me look that up. Keep talking. So we don't have to
I think it was Miller Lite that brought in some fully dressed chick, and she was making fun of like the old school posters. Yeah, there it is. See the woke. It's the second one. Yeah, that's the commercial I saw. Yep. It's a minute and a half long. That was hilarious. No, dude, we had the posters of the Miller Lite girls in our room.
My name is Miranda Wagner, and I'm a Pima.
The commercial.
Yeah, commercial. After commercial, let's play it so people can see it.
I might as well just find a YouTube video on it.
I'll pop. It's halfway. It's almost there. We got time. You got somewhere to be?
No, but so Miller Lite loses an opportunity. I feel like this is the opportunity that if you're a beer brand and you want to appeal to Americans, your commercial should be like girls in bikinis, attractive.
You should have capitalized.
Tough guys playing sports.
I think it's gonna start. You should have capitalized. Here you go.
Women were among the very first to brew beer ever. Centuries later, how did the industry pay homage to the founding mothers of beer? They put us in bikinis.
Yes, they did.
Wow.
Do you think she's mad because she doesn't have a bikini body?
Possibly. The beer maker released the ad during a Women's History Month.
So today, Miller Lite is on a mission to clean up not just their shit, but the whole beer industry's shit.
Oh, wow, she's saying comedian, blazer.
Miller Lite has been scouring the internet for all this shit and buying it back so that they can turn it into good shit for women brewers. Literally, good shit.
The company claims it has been turning its bikini-clad marketing material into fertilizer to give
Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it.
Wow.
So this was, they're talking about how Bud Light screwed up.
That Bud Light screwed up big time.
Oh, God. I hate identity politics with a passion. I really do.
They had to get Joe Rogan on here.
Yeah.
Stuff there. But yeah, I mean, you get the point, right?
Yeah.
So that was an opportunity for Miller Lite.
Or Coors.
Or Coors, right? Well, Miller Lite chose, okay, you know what? We'll double down. We're going to be like all like feminist about the beer now.
So a lot of chicks drink Miller Lite since when? Dude, your audience is dudes. That's who drinks your beer.
That's what makes me question, like, does the CEO not know who his customers are?
Yeah, your customers are beer drinking frat guys. That's who could afford
Miller Lite. I don't even think it's just frat guys. It's just men.
Yeah.
A lot of men just drink these light beers, right?
Yep.
They go to sports, go to the bar to watch a sports game with their friends.
Yeah. Or go to a game.
Buy their beer. Because, you know, if you go to a game, you see the big three, Miller Lite, Coors Light, and Bud Light,
yep.
Right? And then it's just like, okay, one is promoting, doing a partnership with a transgender. Another one's doing feminism. If I was Coors Light right now, my commercials would be like women in bikinis, guys being tough playing sports, just going backwards on what sold.
Yep.
Because I guarantee you their sales would skyrocket. Yeah, you'll get criticism by a very small amount of people saying
they don't buy your beer anyways. They don't buy your beer anyways. Why do you care?
Why do you care if they say they promote women in bikinis and guys being tough?
I want to see those commercials. Yeah, I'll buy your beer if you have those commercials. Like,
I feel like a lot of guys would just to support them.
Well, because think about too, when you go to the store and you get a 12-pack or a 6-pack, and you're walking through the store with that at the grocery store, like people that grab Bud Light right now, like people don't even want to grab Bud Light because other people are gonna be judging them. Oh, you're really getting Bud Light? But if you get Miller Lite because of the bikini commercials, they're gonna be like, yeah, that's my dude right there. You know, you know what guys are. They're just like, yeah, I know.
Well, yeah, because you buy the product thinking, yeah, that could be me. If I have a Bud Light, I'd get chicks with bikinis wanting me, and you know, it's not like, oh, if I get a Bud Light, I'll get all these transgenders on. You know what? No, on second thought,
yeah,
I don't want that.
Yeah, I want that.
And then you get a Miller Lite, like, yeah, I got a Miller Lite. Now I can get, you know, very feminist women tell me what I should be doing and demasculating myself. Okay, do I really want that?
How long is it going to take for Bud Light to recover?
Oh, good freaking luck, man.
It's going to be a while, huh?
Like, you just crippled their reputation.
Yeah.
One move by the wrong marketing director, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, we're going to not listen to who our customers are. It's just like the culture of like your business. Like, do you not know who your customers are?
Yep.
They're just dudes who like to drink beer and watch the game. That's it. Stop bringing in like what Joe Rogan said, identity politics into it. Just leave it alone.
Correct.
Just You go there, you watch the game, you like to see the cheerleaders. Hey, you know what? Drink the beer, watch more cheerleaders. Cool.
Yeah.
You're like,
Kinda
I want
the
to watch football, watch big men run into each other. Cool.
Old
Have a
school
Miller
man
Lite
show.
with it. Mm-hmm.
The good stuff before Jimmy.
Ziggy zaggy. Hey, hey, hey. Like, and girls on jumping on trampolines.
Oh my gosh. That was awesome. Those were the days.
Oh, you said it was awesome. You're a piece of crap for that.
Yeah,
according
now
to
you would,
today's
you know?
culture, right?
We're not hanging out then, I
You
guess.
can't have a man show today.
Yeah. No, you could not have a man show, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But even like comedians are being attacked. Like comedy clubs should be a place where you can get bagged on. And you're there just to laugh, you know? Now it's like so like you gotta be careful who you offend and stuff. Comedians are having a hard time.
I mean, people go see it's comedy for the escape.
Escape from reality.
You know, escape from the reality. Like, you know, you want to listen to a comedian who kind of aligns with your beliefs. Like, yeah, I'm kind of tired with all the in your face. You must accept this, and if you don't, you're a piece of crap for it.
Right.
So it's just like I need to escape from this. Like, let me accept people how I want to. I just don't need it in my face or in front of my children's face, for that matter.
Well, comedy shows get you that. You go there to laugh, not to like
Be an activist.
Yeah, don't be an actor. Don't be a heckler. Don't be an activist. Just laugh. If you don't laugh, just giggle. Haha. Pretend, you know. And then why the hell did you buy a ticket in the first place?
Right. Did you not look up this comedian?
Yeah. Do you not know who you're seeing? But that's our society. So
Yeah. It's getting crazier and crazier. Anything else before? I don't know what we're talking
Nope.
about. Beer. Yeah.
yeah, we're talking about beer. What's next?
I guess we got some talks or some clicks, whatever, about UFOs. People like talking about UFOs because it's the unknown, right?
Yeah, a lot of people want to talk about UFOs. We don't know shit about UFOs. Like we don't. It's just, are they real? What that looks like a car almost. Like
It
it
almost
looks
looks photoshopped.
they almost like wheels on the bottom.
So-
I don't believe we have. I'm with you. Like there's aliens that come and go, and they're like they don't want nothing to do with us.
For those of you listening, by the New York Post, there's a headline called UFO Hunter Claims New Photos Are Definitive Evidence That We Are Not Alone. I mean, how do we know this ship is not like maybe humans time traveling? I don't see the people in there piloting this. It's just an object in the sky.
Correct.
It could just be from another country testing out the capabilities and coming over us and be like, oh, like I said last week, we want them to not know that it's us. They don't know it's us. Good. We want to keep them that way.
Yeah.
And of course, like I said, the U.S., would you admit that we don't know what it is?
We probably know what it is or have some kind of reasoning. I love like conspiracy theories with UFOs because no one knows. It's just theories, but it's just fun to like listen to them.
Well, it's very juicy because it's something you hear repeatedly. And lately, it's just been more in your face in our social media feeds. And now the government's releasing some stuff saying, yeah, we don't know what this is exactly. We don't know what this Tic Tac is. We don't know what happened in that Las Vegas backyard.
8-foot aliens. Like, okay, so we know they're tall. I was hoping they'd be short.
Well, here's the thing. That's just someone's perception that it's 8 foot. You know, they're scared. It could be anything, right? It could be shorter, but he might mistaken someone's 6 foot looked 8 foot. And we don't know. I still question whether it's human beings in those suits. It's too much of a coincidence that it's humanoid. Fingers, 2 eyes, a nose, it walks standing up straight. Like, out of all the infinite possibilities of this universe, of another intellectual being capable of coming to this earth, how is it possible that it could be humanoid? I'm not saying it's impossible, but the probability that it's very humanoid like us,
Why wouldn't
versus-
it be? No.
it's probably something that we can't even fathom as human beings, as another intellectual being that's capable
We
of
don't know
movement.
if they have like some sort of like power. Like if we see them, they could stop us with their thoughts, and we freeze, right? Like we don't know. We just think, oh, they move just like us. What if they move different? Like they're fast, you know?
Or they're capable of camouflage and they've been here.
That's one
You know,
theory I hear all the time.
They're able to camouflage their own skin, be very transparent, so you see through them,
Yep.
and they're just moving around about.
Well, that'd be crazy. Like the Predator.
Yeah, just like the Predator. Who's to say that's not happening?
Yeah, I heard they're gonna do a Predator Wolverine movie. That's gonna suck.
What?
I don't want to see that. No, they're talking about it.
Throwing me off here, but a Predator and Wolverine?
Yeah,
it's Marvel, and I don't know what Predator and Alien
I think
is.
Predator's owned by Marvel. I hope they don't do that. Just like I just read that they might do a Transformers G.I. Joe movie.
They've done crossovers.
Yeah,
as a kid.
Well,
with cartoons.
they introduced a G.I. Joe character in the last movie. And that's why it has people talking. And the director even said he wants to introduce more characters, just like it's a special force or something. That would take away from. I wish they would do a G.I. Joe movie the right way.
They have not. The one with The Rock was weird.
Yeah.
That one was a weird one. And then, who was the other one? Who did it?
The Rock was the second one. Channing Tatum did the
Channing
first
Tatum
one with the
did the first
Marlon
one.
Wayans, or one of the Wayans brothers.
Even that one was still like,
Did you ever watch Snake Eyes?
No, did you watch it?
Yeah.
How was it?
I liked it.
It was okay.
I thought it was pretty legit. I'd watch it again.
It's just action packed. Does it have a good story and good writing?
It's a good story. It's good writing. I liked it. I mean, I'm not afraid to say it. The actor that played Storm Shadow was in the show called The Warrior, I think, on HBO. It's a really good show too. But not to get too far away from UFOs. But I don't know. We don't know. Like, Transformers. We don't know if they're like Transformers. Like they're not have a soul. Maybe they're robots that are sent here.
I keep thinking that it's like these extraterrestrial beings are like organisms like us. Like, how do we know that that's the only form of life? That it has to be something that, and can even breathe our air.
That's true.
Which is strange. Like they all can breathe our air apparently. Unless that's why I always revert back that it's a suit that they could be just breathing in their own air, but at the same time, it's always humanoid.
Yeah, that's true.
It's always humanoid.
But look at how we send stuff up to like Mars, like a rover.
Mm-hmm.
How do we know that they're not sending like rovers here?
I'm more likely to believe that. I'm more likely to believe that if they are humanoid, there has to be an explanation for it. Like we were once attached to them. Maybe they got rid of their junk beings of their kind and sent them to
evolved in something else.
Yeah, so they could continue on, and they got rid of the bottom of the barrel of their species into Earth, and we're the bottom of the barrel, like they did with like how Australia was basically made up. They cast away all their criminals to that island, and now it's a freaking country.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many possibilities, right? I'm just tossing out many of them right now.
Yeah.
And I could be wildly inaccurate. But again, for me, my skepticism is, why are they always humanoid? Why can't it be like big spider beings? Why can't it? How come it's not, and the size is very similar to our size? It can't be like twice the size of a Tyrannosaurus Rex that comes in here with a spacecraft.
Well, maybe they've been here before and they know what to expect and try to blend in as best as possible.
Why would they even care?
Oh.
I mean, that's another question.
They don't know if we can kill them. They don't know how we would react. I don't know.
I also mentioned that like we don't even understand their behaviors. Like, do they have, what's their nature like? Maybe they're not aggressive like how humans are. We always have conflict. We're very emotional. We have desires. We have jealousy. Maybe they don't have it. I go on a tangent about like different possible. When I hear something, I always just react differently. I'm like, what if though? Was that really aliens in that Las Vegas backyard?
Will we ever find out?
We may never find
go
out.
Another 30 years asking the same
Maybe
questions.
the government knows that it is another country messing with us. Maybe it is China sending their camouflage troops.
Yeah.
And, their co-ops recon mission troops, and they're 8 feet tall. Yeah, probably because the whole suit makes you look like you're 8 feet and you can move fluently.
Well, it goes back to what you said. They probably thought it was 8 foot because they're scared. It's probably just a 5'10", 6 foot soldier.
Probably standing on something, right?
Yeah, and camouflaged because their ship crashed or something. They're in their
okay,
recon.
they said the ship crashed. Where's the wreckage?
I mean,
everyone heard the boom, right?
Yeah.
Where's the wreckage? Oh, we saw a circle. Okay, that circle. They fixed it and they were able to leave.
Yeah, it was kind of odd because everyone saw the green, right? The asteroid thing, whatever, and everyone saw the circle thing, but if they crashed, it would leave an indentation. You would think, like
There'd be debris.
there'd be sand and dirt all over that
but
backyard.
it's like a perfect implanted circle.
So
It wasn't like a hard landing.
then
or
that wasn't
anything.
the crash that people heard, because there was, you could hear on people's ring. And where's that crash? There's no crash site. So you're right. What happened?
Yeah, what happened to that
Unless,
crash?
unless they men in blacked everyone, pulled out that little thing and look right here.
Like, where is the spacecraft? And no one saw it leaving,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Unless they have that camouflage
That
capability.
technology, correct. I don't know. Great question. A lot of questions to be asked.
I mean, yeah, I saw a news report that they had cameras at the neighborhood for like 2 weeks. Well, apparently that family's not talking anymore. They're probably exhausted, honestly.
Yeah.
They probably have so many weirdos coming up to the house
they-
asking questions.
They had a lot of reporters go up there and they got denied. Because a lot of people that say they're reporters aren't reporters, right?
Right.
And they probably got tricked so many times, like, screw this. We're not doing this anymore. And they just wanted to go back to normal. But
Right. I can understand that you want to go back to normal because you're getting too much attention.
Yep.
A lot of a-holes coming at you, asking you tough questions that don't make sense. You don't want to answer them. And they're making you feel uncomfortable, and you don't want them in your house anymore. And like, we
Yep.
need to leave. We got some unwanted attention. We just try to show the world that there was something here and backfired on them.
Right.
Yeah. Anything else on aliens?
Nope.
Do you think they're extraterrestrial? Last question.
I don't know. Because now you bring up so many good points. Where's the crash site? Where's the debris?
Well, my big one is, why are they always humanoid?
Why are they always
If they're humanoid, then it's most likely human beings. Yeah, I'm more likely to believe that it's human beings in a suit
Yeah.
versus extraterrestrial. If
Correct.
they're extraterrestrial, then humans have some type of mislink that might be reestablished.
Correct.
I don't know. Anything else?
That's it.
UFOs?
Let's go. What's next?
You want to talk about a local restaurant review?
Oh, okay. Review of the week. Yesterday we had NYPD, New York Pizza Department. New York style. We had like 4 kinds of pizza yesterday. We had what the box said, the Gringo, which looked like a white pizza. We had a meat pizza, which is sausage pepperoni. We had a pepperoni and cheese. And then we had these little like bread things, bread knots, which
Garlic knots, I believe they are.
I didn't taste too much garlic, to be honest. With melted cheese on top,
Maybe it wasn't garlic knots. It's probably just cheese knots or something.
cheese knots or something.
Actually, maybe I can pull up the menu. But go ahead and keep talking.
Yeah. Was I, for pizza, was it good? A lot of people like NYPD, so I don't want to dog on them. But it just wasn't my type of pizza. Yeah, it just wasn't. It was okay. So I would probably give it like a 6 out of 10.
It was garlic knots. I see it right here.
Yeah, it was garlic knots, and I didn't taste too garlicky. But it's okay. It is what it is. Real bready, so pizza's okay, man. I wasn't so impressed.
I'll tell you this. It's just one step above the common Pizza Hut, Domino's, Little
Always
Caesar
better
pizza.
than that. Yeah, I hate Domino's and Pizza Hut.
Right. It's just one step above that. But, I mean, yeah, it's average. I mean, yeah, I'd say a 6. It's slightly above average. I'm not saying 5's bad. That's
5's
also-
average. 5's average.
It's just, I'll still eat it, right?
4's average. Anything under 4 is like, ugh. Why
Yeah,
are we eating
stay
this?
away from it. But,
Yeah,
I mean, I'd probably eat there again.
I would too. I'd probably get different toppings, but it was all right. I mean, for pizza, it's good. If you like NYPD, awesome. If I'm just a Grimaldi guy, I like Grimaldi's pizza. That's what I like. But what else is on? Oh, let's do a review. I just finished a show that just left me like, what the hell just happened, right? The show was called Fatal Attraction on Paramount. 8 episodes. Obviously, you get the gist of the story right off the bat. Like, they pretty much start to end in the first episode. But what you don't realize is character build-ups on different episodes and how they got there. The show was amazing. It really was. It was really good. It had great acting. Joshua Jackson was great in it. He's the attorney. Lizzie Kaplan, she's really good. Amanda Pete's in it. She's the wife. But to be honest, it's 8 episodes. It goes by quick. And I'll tell you right now, it is. I thought it was going to be over at episode 8, and then I realized afterwards I had to go back. That was season 1. There's a season 2. The way it ends is there's a whole new story coming up. There's a whole new backstory. There's a whole new, what you thought you were watching, what you thought you were coming to the conclusion on that last episode. The last 2 minutes of the show throws you a curveball and just lets you know there's going to be another season. They just left you hanging, and you're like, wait a second. Now I have a million questions after watching that last episode. What this, that, what that? You start thinking, but it's a great show. I definitely recommend it. I know you haven't seen it yet, but it's on Paramount Network. It's not a must watch, but it's a good watch if you run out of your shows.
I like Paramount. I think that streaming service is worth getting. Not worse, worth getting. I don't think it's badly priced from all the other streaming services.
Pretty low, I think.
I'll watch the show eventually.
Gotta watch it. It's pretty good.
But you recommend it for the audience?
Yeah, it's R-rated.
Hopefully some comments on that. People agree with that it's a good show.
Yeah, not for kids. So don't watch it with the kids around. What else we got?
That's about it.
That's it. So we're signing off. Let's see. Go to the headers. We're done?
Yeah, we went through all of them.
Oh, we went through everything. Good. Right?
Anything else you want to circle back on that we just talked about?
No, not really. I'm good. I mean, hopefully the Dbacks and the Giants, I know they're playing right now. So let's see what the score is.
Top of the 7th, Dbacks winning 2-1.
Ooh, nice.
But, by the time the end of this recording,
it looks like Christian Walker hit a home run. No, he hit one in right there in Triple's alley. Scored Kiddo Matai. Well, that's good to hear that they're going to win one. So they'll go up 2.5 games on San Francisco if they keep that up. But besides that, if you can, vote for Gurriel and Carroll to go to the All-Star game. I'm sure Zach Gallen's going to go as a pitcher, so don't have to worry about that. And that's pretty much it. You got anything else?
Nope, that's it.
We'll see you next week.
All right.
And that's it.